Hi guys, and welcome to the next video of this entire series where we are discussing Office 365 Exchange Online concepts. In this particular video, I will be discussing security group and Office 365 groups in Exchange Online. Now, if you have watched the previous session, in the last session, we discussed the types of groups which are available in Office 365. In Office 365, we discussed what is a distribution group and how does it work, and we discussed what is a dynamic distribution group and how membership of distribution group and dynamic distribution group works. Now, in this particular video, I will be discussing what is a security group and how do you use a security group. And we will be discussing what is an Office 365 group and how Office 365 group works. Now, to understand what security group is, let's assume that I have a user and I want to assign certain permissions for this particular user. Now, let's assume that I want to assign security administrator for this. I want to assign security administrator role to this particular user account. Now, to achieve this, I can go to Exchange Admin Center and I can assign that permission to this particular account, and this account, this user will become a security administrator. Now the things will change if I have multiple users. Let's assume that I have 5 users or I have 500 users or more than 1000 users. And I want to assign same permission to all those 500 or 1000 accounts. Now, if an administrator will have to do this one by one, that is not an easy task, right? Now to achieve this, we have a security group. We can create a security group. After creating security group, we can add all the users as a member of this particular security group. So once all of the users to whom we want to assign that permission, once all those users are member of this particular security group, we will be assigning that permission on this security group. So what will happen once a permission is assigned on a security group? All of the members of that particular security group will inherit that permission from the security group. So you will not have to assign that permission one by one to each user account. So a security group is used to assign permissions in bulk. If you want to assign same permission to multiple users, so instead of assigning that permission one by one to each account, you can simply create a security group, then add those users as a member of that security group and assign permission on security group. So all of the members of that security group will inherit that permission. Now let me show you how exactly security group work. So now I am in Office 365 tenant, and by clicking on admin, I will be redirected to Office 365 admin center. From here, you need to click on Exchange so that you can go to Exchange Admin Center and you can manage all of your groups. So you will be redirected to modern Exchange Admin Center view. This is the recent view which is introduced by Office 365 team. If you want to use the older version of Exchange Admin Center, you can scroll this page down and at the bottom, you can click on this option which says Classic Exchange Admin Center and you will be redirected to older view of this Exchange Admin Center. Now, if you want to manage your groups from modern Exchange Admin Center view, you can go to recipients and then you can go to groups. From here, you can go to mail enabled security group tab. And from here, you can create a security group. If you want to manage it from classic Exchange Admin Center, you can go to recipients and then you can go to groups tab. And from here, you can click on drop down list and then you can create mail enabled security group. Now let's create a security group. To create a security group, you need to mention certain attributes. You need to mention values for certain attributes. For example, display name, what name you want to give to that security group. So I will type, let's make it test security group. This is the alias that I'm going to assign to this particular group. Make sure there is no space in the alias. If you will give a space, you will be receiving an error. So make sure there is no space in the alias. Now I want to assign an email address for this security group, and email address will be test security group at 365conceptslabs.onmicrosoft.com. Now from here, you can select if you want to assign any particular honor for this particular security group. If you want to add members, below members, you can click on this plus. And once you will click on this plus sign, you will be able to see all the users which who are available in your Office 365 tenant. So from here, you can select for which user you want to assign this permission. Let's say I want to assign this permission to this user, and I want to assign this permission to user B. So here you can see both users are added now. Click on OK, and then click on Save. Your security group is ready to use. Saving completed successfully, and then click OK. So here you can see your test security group is ready to use. Now you want to assign permission on this security group, right? For that, you need to go to permissions. Under admin roles, you can select any one of these permissions that you want to assign on that particular security group. Let's assume I want to assign compliance management, right? So I will double click on compliance management. And from here, go to members. Under members, you can look for that security group that you just created. So on this screen, you will be able to see all the users and the groups which are available in your Office 365 tenant. And from here, you can select your test security group. So you can double click on this group or just select it and click on add. It will be added, and then click on OK, and then click save. So now this compliance management role has been assigned to this security group. If I'll double click on this role again, and if I have to verify, again, go to the same window where you added the security group. And from here, you can verify this test security group is now a member of compliance management permission. That means now this security group has this permission assigned. Now, whosoever is the member of this security group will inherit compliance management permission automatically. Okay, now same thing you can achieve from PowerShell as well. In order to run PowerShell commands, let's assume that you want to manage your Office 365 Exchange Admin Center, right? Now, if you want to manage all these options from PowerShell, first you need to connect to this Exchange Admin Center from PowerShell. Now, to do that, you need to run certain commands. These commands are available in Microsoft document. I will be sharing that document in comment section. So you need to run these commands so that you can connect to your Exchange Online for your Office 365 tenant. So these are the third commands. These are the three commands. The first command, which is $UserCredential equals to get credential. This command will ask you to enter the global admin credentials for your Office 365 tenant. So here I will be typing the global admin credentials for my tenant. All right. And the second command that you can see here, this command will connect this PowerShell window to Exchange Online. And the third command that you will run, Import-PSSession, that command will import all the Exchange Online commands in this PowerShell so that you can run all those commands. So it will take a couple of seconds and I will be connected. Okay. So if you want to verify if you are connected with your Office 365 Exchange Online or not, so you can run any Exchange Online command here. For example, get hyphen mailbox. This command will list all of the mailboxes that I have in my Office 365 tenant. So press enter. If you see this output, it means you are connected to Exchange Online and now you are ready to run all the commands for Exchange Online. From here, you will be able to manage each and every option which is available in Exchange Admin Center. You will be manage all these options from this PowerShell window now, because now you are connected to this Exchange Admin Center of your Office 365 tenant. Right. Now, if you want to assign permission from PowerShell to a security group, for that command is add hyphen role group member. Now, before that, before we assign a permission, let me show you how you can check permissions through PowerShell. So for that, you need to run command get hyphen role group. Once you will hit enter, you will see a list of all the roles, all the permissions which are available within Exchange Admin Center, right? Now let's assume that you want to assign this particular permission, security administrator. Now for that, you need to run command add hyphen role group member hyphen identity. In identity, you will have to mention the name of the permission that you want to assign. And then you will be using hyphen member. Member switch is for the security group or for the user account to whom you want to assign this permission. So within member, you can add here the name of your security group. Now I already have assigned compliance management permission here. So if I will hit enter, security administrator will also be assigned for that particular security group. So this is how you can assign permission from PowerShell as well, right? Now, the next group that we will be talking about is Office 365 group. Now, to understand what Office 365 group is, let's assume that I have 6 users in my organization and they want to collaborate with each other. When I say collaborate, they need a common space where they can share their documents, where they can send emails, and every single user, all of these 6 users should have access to that particular common space. So that if, let's assume that one user wants to share a particular document, so that particular document should be accessible for all of these users, right? Now to achieve this, we can create an Office 365 group. Now let's assume that all of these 6 users have a mailbox. They can log into OWA, they can log into Outlook, and they can access all of their folders of their mailboxes. They can see their inbox, they can see sent items and deleted items as well, right? Now, as I said, for collaboration, you can use an Office 365 group. So once you will create an Office 365 group, what you can do after creating an Office 365 group, you will be adding all these 6 users as a member of this Office 365 group, right? So once you will add all these 6 users as a member of this Office 365 group, all of these users will become a member for this Office 365 group. Now, after that, this Office 365 group will be added in OWA or Outlook for each and every user. Like these users can see their own mailboxes. Similarly, they will be able to see the Office 365 group mailbox as well. Now, what will happen? Let's assume that user one or any user will send an email or will share a document with this Office 365 group. All of the users who have access to this Office 365 group will be able to access that email and document, right? So this is how multiple users can collaborate with each other. Let's assume that this user will share a document within this Office 365 group. Now, all of these users have access to this Office 365 group because all of these users are member of this particular group. So this group will be added in their OWA and in Outlook mailbox. If anyone will send any email to this group, all of the users will be able to see that email within the Office 365 group, which is added in their mailboxes, right? Now let me show you practically how does it work. So to create an Office 365 group, you will go to recipients and then you will go to groups. This is the older Exchange Admin Center. If you want to do it from modern Exchange Admin Center, for that, you will go to recipients, groups, and then go to Microsoft 365 tab. From here, you can click add a group, and then you need to mention certain values for the attributes. In the same way, if you want to do it from classic Exchange Admin Center, then go to recipients and then groups tab. From here, you need to click on new Microsoft 365 group. And here you need to add values. For example, the group name, what name you want to give to this Office 365 group. So I will be mentioning here concepts Office 365 group. And I want to assign an email address for this group, and that will be concepts Office 365. Now, there are two types of Office 365 group. One is public and one is private. When you create a public Office 365 group, any user within your organization can join that particular Office 365 group. It doesn't need an approval from the owner of this group. If you create a private group, any email which is sent to this particular Office 365 group or any document which is shared with this particular private group, that document or email will be visible only for the members or owners of this particular Office 365 group, right? Now, the next is you can assign owners. You can select owner to whom you want to assign ownership of this Office 365 group. And then you can click on save. Now, once it is saved, after that, we will be adding members for this Office 365 group. Now, you will go to membership, then click on plus, and from here, you can select the users to whom you want to assign membership for this Office 365 group. Let's assume that I want to add user A and user B as a member for this Office 365 group. So I will add these both users and I will click on OK, and then I'll click save. Okay. Now I have added this user as well, admin account as an owner of this Office 365 group. So now I should be able to see this Office 365 group for this particular user. So currently I am in the OWA for admin account, right? And this is the mailbox of this admin account. If I scroll down, I can see here concepts Office 365 group, which is added in this particular mailbox for this user. If I click on this group, here I can see the emails. From here, I can send email to this Office 365 group. This is the document tab. I can share the documents in this Office 365 group. And whosoever is a member or owner of this particular Office 365 group will be able to see all these documents. And this is the calendar of Office 365 group. If I will create any meeting in this Office 365 group, all of the users will be able to see that meeting. Now let's assume let me create a meeting here. So this is the calendar of, let me uncheck this. So this is the calendar of Office 365 group, right? Make sure you haven't selected any other calendar. Okay. So now I will create a meeting for 21st. And let me give it a name, test meeting. Click on save. Now this meeting is created and the name of the meeting is test meeting. Now, if I log in with other user who also has a membership for this Office 365 group, I should be able to see this meeting in his mailbox, right? Now let me just quickly log in and let me show you. Okay. All right. So here I will be typing the name of the user is user A at my initial domain 365 concepts labs.onmicrosoft.com. All right. So now I am logged in to user A's mailbox. This is the mailbox of user A. And this is the mailbox of this user. If I go to groups, I can see here concepts Office 365 group, the same group where I have added this user as a member, right? Now, if I go to calendar of Office 365 group, I should be able to see that particular meeting. Let me uncheck my calendar, and this is the Office 365 calendar. And here I can see that test meeting. So this is how users can collaborate with each other. Let me show you one more example. Let's say I will go back to Office 365 group, and this time I will go to documents, right? So here I can share the documents within this Office 365 group. So if I add any document on this particular Office 365 group, the other users will be able to see those documents, right? If I send any email to this particular Office 365 group, all of the users who have access to this Office 365 group will be able to see that email. If I send this test email and I go back to the other user, so this user has received the email within Office 365 group. Similarly, all other users will be able to see that email also. So this is how you can collaborate using Office 365 group. Now there is another use of Office 365 group is that using an Office 365 group, you can create teams within Microsoft Teams. And using Office 365 group, you can create team sites as well, right? Now, so in this particular session, we have discussed what type of groups in Office 365 we have. We have discussed how groups work and how groups membership works. Now, in the next session, we will be discussing what is a mailbox in Exchange Online and how you can use the mailboxes. And I will be discussing users and shared mailboxes in Exchange Online. I will be showing you what is the difference between a user mailbox and a shared mailbox. And then we will be discussing the properties or the attributes that you see within a mailbox. So if you have learned something new from this particular video, please write in comments and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching the video. Take care.